Hello and welcome back to the lab. Today on the bench we have another 3326A from HP. The reason I got to get this other one up and running and restored is I have some experiments coming up that I'm going to need some phase related, non-frequency related signals, and with all the function generators and everything in the lab, getting that phase relationship is actually proving to be incredibly difficult. I have one function generator that I think can do it, which is the Rigol 4162 up here. So the Rigol has sync ports, output and then sync. So I could probably get another function generator synced to it. But the experiments that I'm doing have a decent percent chance to overload the input, do some damage, maybe mess it up. And that function generator is working perfectly and is relatively new. So I don't want to risk that one. So we're risking some of the boat anchor equipment as opposed to the newer equipment. Now, I've done videos in the past on these two function generators, and these would fit the bill if they worked. There was a option, I believe it was option 5 on these, 98 or 8904s, where you could do phase-related signals and get phase syncing between 2 units or more units. I think it went up to 4 or 8. I think 4. And theoretically that works, so I could get 2 channels and 2 channels, so 4 channels of phase-related outputs. The problem is that is a hardware and software mod. So even though these say those mods are installed, turned on, and working, I'm missing the hardware components to make those functions. So even though these are fully software optioned, these won't fit the bill for the phase-related signals. 3326, which is this guy. We restored this in a previous video. Check out the channel if you're interested in that. This one had some internal calibration issues, needed some relays and some other work, but is in much better physical condition than this other 3326. If we move back to the unit on the bench, after comparing the other one, we can see we have a busted crack here. Power button's wrong. This is a not correct knob from the factory. However, this is a hand crank rotary knob off of I think it was a spectrum analyzer or something like that, where you'd really roll through the frequencies. This is kind of cool. I may keep this. Once we get everything all squared away, I may keep that one. I'm assuming this went, something happened to the knob and it broke off and it was replaced over time. It is incredibly dirty and dusty, so I do need to clean the front panel. Definitely need to clean the switches, which we'll be doing. We have taken an impact here. This BNC is not straight, so we're going to need to fix that. I'll have to see if I can find a power button. This isn't a terrible solution, and it does work. Like, I can turn the unit off and on. So this is okay for now. Definitely got to get this cleaned up. Man, it is really, really rough. But so first off, we're going to take the covers off. We'll get this front panel off, service the buttons and switches, and also address some of these bends, breaks, and other issues with the front panel. Then we'll power it up, see if it works. We'll also check it. If I remember correctly from the previous video, we had a latex problem on this one, where old latex kind of all over the boards. So may have to clean up some latex. Fortunately, alcohol does a pretty good job of that, so that's just mechanical work with alcohol and Q-tips, and it actually comes off pretty good. So that's not necessarily a problem, but I don't want that dripping all over the boards. So, first up, let's get this front panel off and clean up some switches. Man, this thing is tall. So, we have a bunch of crust in here. I've got the air compressor charging. We're going to blow this out with the air gun. I have incredibly clean air here on the bench. It's the same air that goes into the N2 soldering irons, so it will be safe to clean this out with that. You guys can see this is bad. Don't have the high voltage options, so if this did have the high voltage output, it would be a board here and a board here. Have to see what this sync, where that goes, because that appears to be missing a plug. I have to look up the manual for that. What else is broken, beat up, or otherwise dead. Nothing too crazy. Doesn't look too bad. Just very, very dirty, and a little bit of got to figure out that cord. So not ready to power up, but not awful for where this was stored for quite some time. All right, a bit of compressed air and some dry brushing, and it practically sparkles compared to what it used to be. Still working on cleaning up the chassis. I've moved on to a little bit of alcohol, and we are getting some nastiness off of there pretty quick. So it's actually cleaning up pretty easy, pretty good. It's a lot of dry dust. I have some air cleaners running here in the lab, but it did kick up a bunch of crap into the air. So we're working with that, and I'm working on getting this faceplate off. All right, 6 screws, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and off we come. So we have a couple of connections that we need to deal with, and then the whole faceplate will come out, which is nice. It's these two. Well, hang on. So we have channel A and B, and then the sync cable that need to come out. Actually, I think I want to take these B and C's out if I can. This will just come off like this. This is just an RCA plug. That's not a problem. Just like so. And the ribbon cable pops free from up here. And now we just have to deal with channel A and B, and I need to fix those anyway, so they can absolutely come off. I'll pull the B and C's off backwards, and then they should... No, they won't. They're on there. They won't come off. I may need to unthread these. Where do those go? I have to find the outputs. Okay, the outputs will come off. I got to undo these connections, and there's a hole. They're just going to feed through at the bottom of the board. I'll have to snake them back up when I put the front panel back in, but it will make the front panel incredibly easier to deal with. So we are going to do that. Channel A and B are coming off, which is actually a good thing for me to talk about. So this unit is fairly duplicated when it comes to channel A and channel B. So this side's channel A, this side's channel B. Sync is actually for channel A. This should be undone. So we can see sync is populated, but there's only one sync port on the front panel, so that's why channel B is not populated. And with that, the front panel is out. I thought these were high frequency, like SMA screw-on connectors. They're not. They're just push-on, so they popped off pretty easy with a pair of pliers. I do need to get these outputs out and bend this frame back in, but working on this front panel is going to be a lot easier once I take the keyboard out. So next step is going to be to take the keyboard out. That'll also give us access so we can work on the switches. Well, as Paul says, every one of these units tells a story, and as I was taking this thing apart, I just found more and more and more and more and more damage. Whatever hit this thing pretty hard. We got a nice big gouge out over here. Wildly bent out of shape down here. I'm going to have to punch this from the back. It hit so hard, one of the studs sheared off. That rolled out, and it's actually right here. That rolled out onto the bench from the inside of the case. So if I didn't think I had to take the front panel apart, it was worth taking the front panel apart just to get that out of there. The other thing actually is, with no buttons in it, this is going to be wildly easy to clean. And actually, I expect this to clean up pretty good. Aside from the deep gouge in the front of this thing. Bit of alcohol and the grime and the dust and the dirt and everything is actually going to come off of this without too much trouble. Might have to look at the LCD panel. It might be worth buffing out the LCD panel. I'm not quite sure yet. But if the unit's in good shape, this will be a good temporary front panel, especially if I can get it all fixed up. Man, the camera's showing up some of this grime pretty good. The front panel, this will be a good front panel just to get started. But I'll keep an eye out for a front panel for one of these, and if I find one, it is not very easy, or it's not very hard to replace the entire front assembly. A couple of cords, a RCA connector, and that's about it, especially if I can get a good power button. So put the feelers out for a 3326 front panel, as long as the rest of it's good, and see where we go from there. But it's cleaning up pretty nice. Okay, we have the BNC section rebuilt. I used a hammer to tap down the front of the frame. It's not 100% straight yet, but once metal bends, it's very hard to get it absolutely back straight. This is a very interesting way it's set up. The ground is actually lifted off the chassis, so the BNC ground is not referenced to the chassis ground other than between these capacitors. So we do have some capacitive coupling to ground. However, there's no DC path to ground because there's splits here in the trace. This nut is what grounds it to the front of the chassis, which then flows through to the rest of the unit. And the rings on these BNCs solder to the front of this daughter board. The problem there is there's plastic in between the front of the chassis and the back of the chassis to insulate it from DC ground, and it's actually on this one pretty thin. So I looked through my box of parts in the lab, didn't really have much. Also, I tried to find a replacement for this BNC connector and did not have one that actually fit this BNC connector that would fit in this position. So I reshaped the connector as best we could, and it's going to have to run at that way for now. I do have some feelers out for additional spare parts, so when we get them, we'll get this all repaired. Now, the nice thing about these is on the center conductor is screwed into the back of the BNC connector, so this can be taken off to assist putting all of this assembly together. So this will just thread in here like so, and then tighten up when I'm ready to put the output leads back on. For right now, we have sprayed each switch, and I'm in the process of exercising them with your favorite contact cleaner or libation of choice. They are bouncing a lot better. They're not sticking. I still need to lubricate the switches. I don't mechanically, not electrically. So I'm going to use a little touch of a drop of sewing machine oil on the plastic itself, not flooding the area or anything like that. It's a needle bottle and just a slight drop of sewing machine oil just to lubricate up the plastics. It'll just make them last longer. I don't want it to flow into the switch and actually get the contacts, because those are done on two parts. One's on the switch itself, the other's on the PCB, and I don't want the sewing machine oil getting into the switch contact, so I need to be very, very careful on how much we put on each switch. Just the tiniest drop of oil is all that's needed. And we have a functioning front panel again. At least I hope that there's nothing else wrong. Haven't even powered this unit up yet. Still need a power cord. This looks a whole lot better than it did before. It's still not perfect, but it's functional. I put the knob with the handle back on. I didn't have an exact match knob, but the buttons feel way better. They bounce back. Nothing's getting stuck, and everything's moving very freely and feels really, really good. YouTube's not feel-o-vision, but I can't do anything about that. So, next stop is put it in the machine. We'll give it some power and see if we have any errors. Correction, no. Next stop is a bit more cleaning. That was just on the bottom cover panel. Okay, unlike the other unit where these little feet were a leaky, terrible, drippy mess, this unit hasn't actually gone bad yet. So that means these will be relatively easy to pull apart to prevent the ooze from spreading. That was pretty bad to clean up on the last one. All right, magic smoke time. Let's see if it errors out or does anything. I have the front panel put back in. I should, put the top screws back on, I guess. That would probably be useful. It's always wild putting one of these together. How confident are you in the repair? Well, how far did you put it back together? All right, front panel's back connected, so I can actually push buttons without and have some structure. Here we go. Op 1, I believe, is the high stability time base. I did see a crystal buried in the bottom, in the back, so we'll see how that goes. No errors, so that's good. Let's ask for some amplitude. Let's do 2 volts. And we do have an output. Nice and clean. Move you guys up to the Rigel. Given that this is a 50 ohm scope, we do have the appropriate 50 ohm terminator on the line. And we have a nice, very clean sine wave at 1 kilohertz coming out of the function generator. So for those who have been here with the channel for a while, next stop is burn-in testing. Let's keep this thing on. I'll run by, hit cal every once in a while, make sure it actually calibrates, doesn't throw any weird errors, do anything like that. And if that's the case, it's ready to get put into service and help me out on the bench. So no shelf queens here in the lab. Everything's got to put in work to have a space. So got to make sure this one will be able to be on for a while without smoking down. All right, well, this thing has been running for substantially longer than I intended, but it's outputting quite nicely. Knob's still working. And actually, I'm kind of liking the crank knob on this one, so I think I'm going to leave that way for now. But this unit's already up and ready, repaired and ready for the lab, and looks substantially better. So I got to put that in the rack, move some things around, but that one is ready for service. As always, if you like what you see, hit all the YouTube buttons, like, share, and subscribe. A huge thank you to the channel patrons and members. Their support helps keep the lights on here in the lab and videos coming up to YouTube, and as always, is greatly appreciated. With that, as always, more is on the way, and I will see everybody in the next video. Bye for now.